The Tunisian syndicate of taxi drivers has urged the government to find an urgent solution and to enact a rapid and appropriate response to rising fuel prices. Thousands of taxi drivers who barely survived several COVID lockdowns and nighttime curfews say the rapid fuel price increases could render them out of business.
The recent fuel price hikes have ruined many taxi drivers. We're just working to pay for fuel and gasoline. We are not responsible for this situation. It is the government's role to look out for solutions and to control prices at the pump.
Cab drivers say tariffs for private transport have been frozen by the government for years, while the cost of fuel continues to rise in Tunisia.
This problem of fuel prices has become a real handicap for taxi drivers. The tariffs for private taxi transport are not revised, while fuel and gasoline are more expensive. Drivers and not taxi riders are paying for this inflation.
The Minister of Industry, Energy and Mines says that the increase in the price of fuel and gasoline is based on a rise in international prices due to the current conflict in Ukraine. The government says it will put in place new policies to mitigate the energy deficit.
The situation is critical because we drafted the 2022 state budget on the assumption that oil prices will not exceed $75, but it has skyrocketed. We are looking for solutions to compensate for the losses of businesses and all consumers while increasing energy efficiency.
Tunisia spends significantly on subsidized fuel, and there have been calls by international lenders, including the IMF, to cut the spending and reduce the country's total trade deficit. Operators in the taxi industry have in the meantime launched a distress call calling for urgent government intervention to limit the significant rise in fuel prices and to offer financial support to cab owners whose vehicles were seized by banks. Many taxi drivers say they do not know how much longer they can stay in business if the pump prices continue to rise amid the conflict in Ukraine. Energy experts say that the private transport sector is particularly vulnerable to increases in the price of fuel.